Good morning, everyone. Today we are here, and this is where his condo is located. So this is a business function hall. Yeah, few of my viewers already are asking about how Filipina could get into a cruise ship. So honey.
Well, this is the cruise ship.
Yes, about the
We're talking
cruise
about
ship.
cruise ships.
Yeah,
I
cruise
thought we
ship.
were talking about something else.
One of not one, the few already of my viewers
Yeah,
that wants to know about how Filipina go into a cruise ship. What's the process and how you get a ticket from the first very beginning. Okay, honey, how did you get my ticket first?
Well, your ticket or just getting the ticket for the cruise ship overall?
Okay, like from the very first process, how did you have my ticket?
Are we talking about just for you or for just to get a cruise ticket?
Yeah, cruise ticket, and then what's the process of everything, like going inside everything, like
Okay.
getting into it. Okay.
Well, there's many ways you can get a cruise ticket. You can go to the cruise line's website, which is okay, but I would always I have a few apps that I go to because usually I can get a better deal. But probably the one I use most is cruisecompete.com, and if you know the cruise you're going to go on, first you have to decide which cruise you want to go on. I usually search them out and find the lowest price one, then I go to Cruise Compete and set that cruise in and see if I get a better deal. And what they do is you identify first you have to make an account with them. It doesn't cost anything, it's free. You set that cruise into motion, that's the cruise you want to quote on. And so you tell which cruise ship, which date, and if you want inside or outside, you have an option, or balcony or suite cabin. And also you can say that it's with 1, 2, 3, 4 people on it, however many you have. So you'd click all that up and send that in, and within usually a day, you've got a couple quotes, and what they'll do is they'll send you a quote at the total amount, not the, in the old, I think they're all kind of changing to where they're trying to get their quotes to include everything, but the only thing they never include is the gratuity, so you always have to think about that. That's also an option if you have the right cruise line. Sometimes you can choose not to pay those. But anyway, you get the cruise quote back, and then you can go to that cruise site, and many times it's not usually the cruise line site that's going to give you the price, it's a third party. And what I found is a lot of the cruise lines will, after they sell so many, then the price goes up and up and up. But they send off a lot of cruise, a lot meaning like 20, 30, 40, a lot size number of cabins to like a third party and say, you have these to sell.
Okay.
And when the cruise line sells all theirs out, or they get close to selling them out, they raise the price. But there might be some left on a third party site, and that's where this Cruise Compete comes in, where it can save you some money, because then you're going to get a lower quote.
Okay. At the very first, they have to go to Google and type the cruise something. What should they will do? Search
your internet browser.
And then
Cruise Compete is one.
Cruise
That's what I just
Compete,
talked about. There's also Vacations to Go.
Vacations to Go. Okay.
You can search those out by date and stuff. And then the one that's really, it's a little more difficult to kind of learn how to use, but it's Cruise Plum, and you can
Cruise Plum. Okay.
you can focus that on all kinds of search criteria.
So those are the options.
Those are the three I use.
Yeah, he's using, and then he
But let me just add this: even though I get the best price, before I book it, I always go back to the cruise line and check their price, because sometimes it will actually be less. And many times I'll call somebody, call the place up, the cruise line up, because a lot of times if you talk to a nice agent, they'll even give you a better price. But if it's such a good price, I know that I'm not going to get a better one, then I just go ahead and book it with the lowest price.
Okay, I've noticed that once you search something and you give your information, they're trying to call you and offer you every now and then, or you will just leave a message to call you, or they actually call you by like giving your information.
One of the reasons I like
Offering
Cruise
something.
Compete, it's always online. Vacations to Go doesn't do it online. That's one of the problems. Vacations to Go gives you the price, but if you want to book with a Vacations to Go operator, you have to put your email and your phone number in, and they're not going to send you a message. They're going to call you on the phone. Now, what I do is I send. I mean, I'm probably bad about this. I put a number in that's not mine. So they call and they get their own number. So then they send me an email. So then I can contact them at my leisure, because I'd rather work with them through email.
Okay. So, yeah, and before anything else, of course, the Filipina should have the passport with her. And also, during our first cruise ship, I remember that we go to a place first, like Singapore, yeah, was right, Singapore. And then if the Filipina never been outside of the Philippines, like for example, also I would like you to give information that in the immigration, and Philippine immigration will ask you for reason why you are going
you get
to.
way ahead of yourself, I think, because first off, you're going to have to go and find out what's the requirement for a Filipino to go to each country that you're going to be visiting, and then and then if it says you don't need a visa, you're good to go. You can go. But I think what she's forgetting is once you, like Vietnam, you didn't need a visa, but I needed one, so I had to get one.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But at the very beginning, I remember that this was just my first outside of the country with him. So in the immigration, they will ask for the Filipina what's the reason you will go for that vacation, because of course you will go outside of the country because the cruise ship will be in along Asia. So why are you going out of the country, and what's the reason, who is he with you? They will ask for you some information about your past, if you've been together for long or for how many. I think there's a validation that you if you've been together with a certain period and then you don't have any proof to. I don't think so, if but I'm not sure, but this was happened to me when I was first going outside of the country. So this was the requirements.
We talked about going on a cruise, and we often heard and watched YouTube videos where to get a visa to go out of the country is hard. And even if you can't get a visa and you go to a place where you're not required to have a visa, if you're a single, Filipino, or a Filipina that's married, that's traveling by herself with a partner, then they're going to be wondering why. Because what they want to make sure is that she comes back. So they're going to make sure you have a ticket back. If it's a flight to Singapore to take a cruise, they wanted the flight back. In our case, the first one we went, it was a cruise. We went to Singapore, but the cruise came back. But they were very picky about getting all the information. We were so worried about it. We bought her an onward ticket.
Onward ticket, yeah.
Just in case something went wrong, where you had a ticket from Singapore back, even though we were taking a cruise from Singapore to Manila. So, but they're very strict on this. The last time we went, the immigration officer took my information. He saw that we were together, gave me my passport back. He wouldn't talk to her until I left. And then he asked her a bunch of questions about her relationship with me. So you have to make sure that you have the proof that you're coming back, everything, I think if she would have been like in her 20s, I don't think they would have let her go.
Yeah, also, in my case, so the immigration asked for me if how many years you've been together, how many years you've been boyfriend. So during COVID time, I have picture with him in my gallery. It's a good thing also for me because I showed it to the immigration that I have this one. We've been together, we've been dating for this year, how many years, like this. So that's the good thing, that I have that picture to show to them, because that was just my first time to go with him outside of the Philippines. So there are certain questions that you should answer and be ready for this one. Also some like important documents that you have been in, anything that shows that you've been together, because maybe they're thinking they will just he will just take me and something maybe happen or something like that. So you just have to be ready with this kind of stuff. Proof that you've been together or you've been together before this cruise ship that you will have if you will go a cruise ship or a vacation outside of the Philippines. So that's the thing that I can give you also to help.
Yeah, the other thing is the first time we went, they were very, very strict,
Very strict, yeah.
The second time, it seemed like it was a little easier. Maybe it was in the records. That
Yeah, second time it's in the system already. So they noticed that the second time around, they noticed that I've been with him. So it's not that hard, same as the first time that we go out of the country. So that's very important thing, guys. So what else? And then go to the ticket. You booked already the ticket, and then what else you do after getting the ticket? Be ready with something, or
well, yeah, you have to make sure everything's in order. You know, it's your if you're flying somewhere, you got to make sure you get the
e-travel,
your
arrival
card. Your e-travel. You have to do that whether you're doing on a ship or anything.
Yeah.
You have to have the e-travel within a couple days of leaving. There's no cost to it. There's a lot of websites if you click on e-travel or something like that, and they'll want to charge you like $70. If you go to the main site, they don't charge you. The other ones are all scams. So, and then also every place we go now, you need an e-travel type thing.
Yeah.
Singapore has a Singapore arrival card, which is just doing something online. You never really have a card to it. It's just you got like a receipt in the email, but when you go through the Singapore gate, the immigration gate, it's just an automatic gate. You put your passport down. If you've done that, the gate opens. If you haven't done that, then you have to go back and do it online before you can go through. Thailand has the same thing. Vietnam has the same thing. All three of those.
Singapore.
Well, Malaysia didn't have one, did it?
No, Malaysia. Singapore has this Singapore arrival card. I think 2 days before you.
Yeah, they're all about 2 days. Two or three days before. It's either 48 or 72 hours before.
Yeah,
you can't do it earlier than that. You have to wait within that time frame. You can do it 10 minutes before you go if you want. If you want to wait that way and take your chances, because if it says you can't get, they won't give it to you, then you're stuck. So it's best to do it before you leave.
Yeah, anyway, they will email you in case, like, for example, you get the ticket, they will email you what's your what do you need to arrive before arriving to Singapore, something like that. They will send you information to do like this and like this kind of stuff. So yeah, and then after that, how about the bag tag, something like that? If you check in,
if you're leaving the Philippines, you got to pay exit tax. You had to pay it. I have an SRRV visa, so
I paid.
I don't have to pay it unless I'm here a year without leaving the country.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened. So
he's free, and then
free,
I paid like, how much was it?
It was like 1,650.
1,000 plus, for the travel tax for me. But he didn't pay because he has this permanent visa in the Philippines, like SRRV, Special Retirement Visa.
And you have to be careful sometimes if you book your flight. Sometimes they'll go ahead and take care of the travel tax for you.
Yes.
So you don't want to go to the airport and then wait in line for the travel tax to get up to there and well, you already got it. Or even if they might even charge you for it, and then you go to the book, get your boarding pass, and they say, well, you paid this twice, go back and get your money back.
Yeah.
And I've heard people do that before.
I think is there any way that they can pay like the travel tax online before your flight?
Some places do.
Yeah, there are places. Yeah, because guys, if you are in the check-in line or queue, and then you didn't pay your tax yet, it will bother you. You will make a mess because the line is very long, and then they will tell you when you are already in the counter, you pay your tax first before you check in. So before that, you should check your status of your travel tax before you go to the queue for the check-in. So it will bother you.
We were saying that we probably want to talk about the best time to cruise, because the difference between the high season and low season is tremendous. Since I've cruised so much, I really much know anytime after Thanksgiving and through Valentine's Day, except for the Christmas 2 weeks of Christmas and New Year's, is probably the best time to go. There's going to be the lowest cost because that's when nobody's really thinking about cruising. So you're going to get the best deal probably the first 2 weeks of December, and maybe the 2 weeks after New Year's. That's the 2 times we. I mean, well, we did pretty much all
Last year.
mid January to mid February.
Last year it was my birthday.
Last year we went through March. Yeah.
March, yeah.
But the average price, that is a good price. If you take per person for the cruise cost, I'm not talking about gratuities, because gratuities, that's what we should talk about too. Is anywhere from $50 to $100. Those are really good prices if you can do that per day.
That's per day, huh? Per day.
So if you're taking a
for the
7-day
information
cruise,
of everybody.
a 7-day cruise for 2 people at $700 is a very good price. So that's usually where I'm looking at, somewhere between.
Okay, now the best time to cruise?
Was the first 2 weeks, or the 2 weeks before Christmas and the 2 weeks after New Year's. But we were talking about the cost, and if the way I look at it, anything between $50 and $100 per person per day is a good price. Now, also that price goes along with the ships. If it's a new ship, it's going to be a little more. The older ships are going to be less. If you want something really low cost, the transatlantics. Now, I don't know if that many Filipinas would be able to go on a transatlantic. The flight just to get over to someplace in Europe and then get a flight back from the U.S. or vice versa is going to probably limit anybody wanting to do that. But that's where the best value is. I'm not one that chooses cruises to go specific places. About the only time I did that was when I was looking at the places I wanted to retire, which was Mexico, Panama, South America, and Asia. So it's really up to what you want. If you want to go on a cruise in the summer, it's going to cost you a lot more. But you can always just compare it to all the other cruises. But it's always best to go in winter months, because even in Asia, even though it's hot here, I would think they would stay high price, but they have gone lower.
Yeah, guys, but he's expert already where is the best deal, where to go. So if you had a hard time looking for a best deal, so he's giving the is that 100 already, honey? It's the maximum or minimum cheapest, something like that. So
no, you can cruises can go. I've seen okay. We didn't talk about this, but on every cruise you got interior, which is inside the cruise ship without a window. Mm-hmm. You got outside cruise cabin, which has a window in it.
Yeah.
Then you have balconies with a balcony, and then above that you have suites. The price goes up exponentially.
Yes.
Usually a balcony is double or triple what an interior is. So I don't really care if I have a window or not. Last time we went, there was only a little difference between interior and ocean view, so we got ocean view.
Yeah, we have ocean view. But you guys, the viewers that requested us to have a video about the cruise ship, he wants to take his Filipina to be very, very special. So if you want, you can take with the window view or window balcony. So it's not just 100. So probably it's just how much? What do you think, Kani, is the best deal with a balcony room?
Well, if you can afford it, get the balcony. It's nicer. The only thing about interiors are usually the smallest. And usually ocean views, on the outside of the ship, you have to have a window, so usually they're a little bit longer, you have a little bit more room. So that's the benefit for me. I like the extra room. The balcony doesn't really, you can just get on an elevator, go a few floors up, probably take you less than 2 or 3 minutes. And you can get outside somewhere where you can feel the air, and you might be up there with some other people at the pool deck and stuff.
That's last year. That was my birthday gift from him to avail the balcony that time last year. So the guy that requested a video, he wants to be his Filipina very, very special, taken to a very special, very, very, he said, very, very special cruise ship. Then you can avail, you can have the balcony. And then also, is there any part of the cruise ship which part is nice something special for his Filipina girlfriend?
Well, a lot of cruise ships have this where they're the higher loyalty type, where they have the most past cruises with them. they get extra benefits, and sometimes they get better deals for the higher up cabins. Sometimes they even have a whole section like at the back where they're like premier cruisers with that cruise line. I don't like that. There's so much more money, and it's just, I don't think it's worth it. If you have money to throw away, you can get that. But so there's really no place on the cruise where it's going to be
Special.
nicer rooms or
Okay.
anything. I think if you get an interior, there's going to be the same interior almost anywhere you went, unless you're in one of those sections. But you know, the difference is where you're at. It's the physical place. If you're at the front or the back, if you have a problem with motion sickness, you're going to move around a lot more. Just think of it like a teeter-totter. If you're on the end of a teeter-totter, you're going to be moving a whole lot up and down. But if you're in the middle, you're just minimal.
So I suggest
the
would be in the middle.
The same thing with rocking side by side. If you're in an interior, you're probably going to be better than if you're on an ocean view or a balcony. If you're way at the top, think of that ship tipping like this. If you're way at the top, it's going to move more.
Yeah, so I suggest maybe, because of Filipina sometimes this is her first time, so I suggest maybe it's good in the middle, honey. Yeah. So also, also about excursions, honey, you can explain to them, about this, about the excursion. Okay, let's finish about the cruise ship ticket and everything, the processes, and then now let's talk about the excursion. So, honey, explain the excursions. About the excursions.
Excursions, when you get on the cruise ship, they're going to give you a lot of offers for excursions at the ports you stop at. And these are things that the cruise line has partnered with somebody at the port or the town to do something like zip lining or snorkeling, stuff like that, or just sightseeing. Sometimes it's just a bus that brings you into town, lets you off, and then brings you back. They're going to charge you a fee for that. Just remember that if they do it with the cruise line, that they guarantee that the cruise ship won't leave without you if you don't get back on time. If you come off the ship and you book the same thing, and it will be half as much or less usually for the same thing. But the problem is, if you go on it and then you don't get back to the ship before the ship leaves, they won't wait for you. They'll leave. So,
they will give you a certain period of time for shopping, for go to that activity or to that tourist, but they will drop you, and then they will tell you what time the bus or the service will return back to the ship. What time they will drop you and what time should be there together and return back to the ship. So they will give you certain period of time.
Yeah, like I said, if it's through the cruise ship, then there'll be a person there that's going to make sure that you're on the bus before the bus.
Tourist guide, tourist
But
guide.
if you're on an independent one, and the same thing, if you take a bus into town, and then you don't get on the bus, like we went to Pattaya from Lam Chabang
to Pattaya.
and the bus. We did it private.
We did it our own, so
we went, and then they told us, well, you can come back at 3, 5, or 7.
Yeah, there are schedules.
So we came back at 3, but if we didn't get that bus, we were able to get on 5 because the cruise ship was going to be there till 11 at night. So I like that, because if we get busy doing something that we don't make it, we can take the next bus.
We're not in a hurry.
But if the bus only came back at 3, and if we would have been messing around, we might have missed the
3 o'clock.
Well, since the cruise line was there until 11, we would have got back somehow. But it's just if you were taking a excursion where the bus is supposed to come back at 3, get you there by 3:30, and then the ship leaves at 5. It's pretty easy to miss the whole cruise.
So guys, for the information of everybody,
one more thing you got to remember, you want to talk about. Somebody asked about which cruise lines are the best.
Okay, wait. For the information of everybody, so Jeff was talking about if you're booking an excursion, like connected, or what's the term? Connected to the ship, or you will book your excursion from the ship. So that's the thing that a bit higher, but. Jeff was telling us about what we did on our own. So we just ride on our own. We didn't book or didn't avail the excursion from the ship. So this is what he's telling in private. So
Yeah.
you have to go a private taxi with it not connected to the ship, but you just have to remember what time is the ship leaving. So
And you want to make sure that they know that
Yes.
when you get off the ship at any port, there's going to be all kinds of people outside.
Yes.
They're going to try to sell you the tours, the private
Yeah.
tours. So it wasn't like we had to go hunt it down. We walked out the port. They tried to sell us a bus ride in, a round trip ticket for
Round trip.
$25 to go back and forth on the Princess ship.
Princess.
And we walked out and it was what, $14
Yes.
per person
If we
on
book
the private.
if we book through the excursion through the ship, like it was $25. That's what he meant. But we did it on our own. It was only $14. So imagine, it was more than half. You save money.
Well, not quite, a little less than that.
No.
You saved $11.
Oh, how much was it? 14. Oh, I was thinking 28. Okay, yeah, okay. Less than half. But you save. It's a big savings.
Oh, yeah.
Both of us, yeah. Instead of paying $25, but you just have to remember what time.
Another thing, if you take one with the cruise, usually the ones people that do, I hate to say this, people that take the cruise excursions that are just a bus back and forth, they're usually the old people.
I know what you would
The
say.
old people that are very slow, and so it's going to take a long time to get off the
get
bus.
off the bus.
It's going to take a long time to get everybody on the bus. It's going to take a long time to get off when you get back. It's just very slow. It's just the way it is. You just have to put up with it. But if you take the private, it seems like you don't have that same problem.
Yeah, because guys, if you the very first time I experienced in cruising, the people really who are involved or who are in the cruise ship are the people who are retiring. So that's my total conclusion. Most of the people who are in the cruise ship are the people who are retiring. So they are enjoying their life, retiring. So they have this cruise ship. So that's what I noticed. That's why Jeff is telling that most of the people there are old already, and they are retiring. Most of them retire. So imagine they are old. So of course they cannot run quickly. They cannot go to the line quickly. Like they will go slowly. So if you are an excursion in one, like if you book an excursion through that cruise ship, so you just have to be patient because it's for everybody. We'll wait for everybody to be together going there, and you will wait for everybody coming back to the ship. So imagine that you will have of course patient for that, because even though you drop in one place, they will take you, all of you, going to that place and taking back to the bus, and again go to another place. You will wait for everybody going back and forth. So you have to have that attitude, because he doesn't have this patience. Okay. So that's why he was explaining to you like that.
Let's expand on this a little bit, because when we say that it was really slow and old, because there were a lot of retirees, that's Princess. Now, with the different cruise lines, which we were talking about, I just mentioned a minute ago about which cruise lines are better. It depends on where you're at in your demographics. If you're retired, if you're a little older than retired, if you're before you retired, if you're in your middle ages, 40, 50, or if you're young. Every group has a cruise line that will fit you. Now, Holland America is usually the people that are very old. If you go on that, you're going to be along with a lot of older people. Princess is retirement people. That's just like she said, retired.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So if you might want to pick the cruise line that way too. Then you will go down I can't remember think of them all, but my favorite is Norwegian, which is kind of in between Princess and Carnival. If you want a young party crowd where everybody's in the pool deck is crowded, they're all got music loud everywhere, everybody's just really having a good time, Carnival's the one for you. If you want one that's bare bones, which is probably going to get you the best price in Asia, is Costa, which is my worst. I don't like it.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, you got Disney, but Disney's not around here very much. But if you go on Disney, probably the most expensive, because it's created, for kids and having the Disney, and they have actual Disney performers that perform in the parks and on Broadway and all those shows that come right on the cruise line. I Norwegian because they usually bring in Broadway shows. I like the entertainment. So I'm trying to think of what. Oh, MSC is a cruise line that's from the I think the shipping lines which wanted to get into the cruise line, and you get a lot of international people there. You get people that are from Europe that live in Miami or Florida that are getting on those all the time. Mostly that's they sell out of Florida and Europe, but every once in a while you see them over in Australia and here. So, but it all depends on the kind of cruise I wouldn't take a bunch of kids on a cruise to Holland, America. They'd be bored to death. So it's all you have to kind of look at that too. So.
Yeah. Also, I think if you want to be your Filipina to be special and you don't want to join with the crowd by booking the excursion on the cruise ship, you can have also a private like taxi. They're available at the port. Yeah, I'm correct. Yeah, but you have to pay for it. So if you want to be special, then there's available personal or private taxis that's available on the port that you will be in. So it's not a problem for you if you have that kind of thinking that you want your Filipina or your partner to be special. There are lots of available taxis at the port, so it's not a problem for you.
Now you're talking about having your love of your life Filipina with you, and you go on a cruise. You better bring some bucks, because what you're going to want to do is you want to go to the specialty restaurants.
I will tell you guys. Okay, I will tell you how much he spent for me during our 1 month vacation. $6, $18. That's Singaporean dollars, huh? Less than $50. That's what he spent to me, and in this last cruise ship that we had for less than a month, guys. So I'm not after that thing. So we are after the cruise ship. So that's the information of everybody.
We go the same month.
Because he's telling him as a simp. Okay, that's the other topic. Okay, so what else we can say, honey, about cruising? There's any information more? So you give them already ticket process and everything. Oh, you have to look to the places. Like for example, if you book for your Filipina the cruise ticket, you have to look for the places. Maybe there's a port there that they will stop in America or somewhere in the Europe. Then your Filipina cannot go in that place because of the visa. So you'll think only Filipina can go only through along Asia only, along Asia cruise ship. So maybe you book a ticket for her that you will go to. You have to check all the places that this cruise will go to. Certain places, maybe you'll go America or somewhere in Europe. Then your Filipina will be left somewhere.
I think my name's forgetting that when you sign up and you book the cruise. If you have a you have to tell them what passport number you have and what country it's from. As soon as you put that in, the cruise line knows which ones need to have visa, and it'll have a big red flag that comes up. You're required to have a visa, and then you're going to have to check the box that say you know that you're responsible to get your own visa.
Yeah, I remember
so you'll have to do that. So you're not gonna spend money on a cruise and then get somewhere and say, well, no, this Filipina can't go in there. The only thing you got to worry about is when you get to immigration. Before you leave the Philippines, everything's in order. That's all.
Yes, but if, like for example, if the cruise will start in Manila,
you have to go through immigration.
Immigration
to get on the
also,
ship.
yes, yeah. So
you still have to go through immigration.
Still, you will pass by an immigration.
Yeah.
So, guys, I think this is good information for you guys who has requested for us to make a video about the cruising. So if you have any questions or suggestions or any clarifications, you can put down the comments below and try to we will try to answer your questions, guys. So for today's vlog, this is it. So thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye.